welcome to Rants, and I'm your host, C. And today we're ranting about today's hot topic, the Falynn Guobadia interview done by Adam Newell of UpandAdamLive. Falynn Guobadia will be Falynn Pena after her divorce. Apparently, she lost the fight to keep her married last name, which is Guobadia. If you caught the premiere of Falynn's interview with Up and Adam, then you probably expected a scathing tell-all where Falynn addresses her ex-husband, Simon Guobadia's allegations of her cheating and his so-called receipts on these allegations and much more. Well, apparently, that's not what happened. Some people thought it was a very, very interesting interview, and some people felt it was a snooze fest. Either way, I did feel like it was well structured. But what the audience did get, in my opinion, is that they got a very classy and muted Falynn saying nothing crazy about her husband, their divorce, or his engagement to Porsha Williams, her previous co-star on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Even though with the dramatic trailer, it did kind of allude to something a bit more scathing was to be expected in the interview. Anyway, Simon's attempts to stop the interview from airing proved to be totally unnecessary because, as the classy woman Falynn has proved herself to be, she really did not say anything that was disparaging about her ex-husband, their life, or his new fiancée, Porsha Williams. People were stunned by her statement that she does not love buying shoes, bags, shopping, rides in private jets, or any other luxury lifestyle conveniences that I guess the average woman would really appreciate. But she did really state that she was blessed. And it's good that Falynn at least recognizes that, and she classified that her basic love language had nothing to do with materialism. It was more focused on quality time, not gifts and other material items, but just quality time. But she did acknowledge that she is blessed for at least having the opportunity to be in the state that she is in. And author Gary Chapman says that there are 5 ways to express and experience love through love languages. So number 1 is words of affirmation. Number 2 being quality time, which Falynn expressed. Number 3 being receiving gifts, which we all know Porsha is the materialistic queen. She loves her bags and her shoes. And number 4 being acts of service. And the 5th love language being physical touch. So in the comments below, let me know what your love language is. Okay. It's likely Falynn was limited by an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement directing her not to say anything disparaging or basically telling her exactly what she can and cannot say. But overall, the interview was structured well with tons of hidden gems because much of what Falynn conveyed was done through silence. You have to really focus on what Falynn chose not to say in the interview, just as much in addition to what she actually did say for you to know where things may be going. For example, Falynn mentioned she felt betrayed by Bravo. This was quickly glossed over in the interview, but if you pay attention to reality TV, you know it's heavily produced now. So I suspect the producer assigned to Falynn likely asked Falynn what she did not want on the show. And Falynn revealed exactly what that would be, what would make her uncomfortable. And then bam, the producer decides to, zero in on that vulnerability and use other castmates to really poke at that and push to get exactly what they're looking for. And I just suspect that if you remember the scene where LaToya Forever arrives late to Falynn's home and then immediately starts disrespecting her the minute she walks into the door, disrespecting her and her home, her husband, commenting on him as well. So doing all of that immediately, in my opinion, tells me that it was set up with the producers and they were likely the one to encourage LaToya Forever to act this way, which is totally against what Falynn would have wanted because obviously she wouldn't want to be disrespected in her own home. Then, if you also remember, Falynn did state that she heard the news in her interview, she mentioned she heard the news of Simon's engagement to Porsha from a friend of hers. So if Falynn heard from her friend what was going on, and when she heard the information, she reacted saying that her husband would never do that, you can see that Falynn is only sharing facts of the conversation, the facts of her being in a conversation with her friend saying, no, my husband would never do that. Yet Falynn never shared her personal opinion on the situation, which is why I just believe she was, restricted and limited in what she could and could not say based on an NDA. Anyway, and also the fact that her own husband was threatening to shut down the interview or try to get the interview shut down before it even went out. So also, Falynn did say she was a stay-at-home mom. She did mention that. She has told us previously that she has a special needs child. We all also know that Simon himself has 2 boys that are special needs. So Falynn essentially was taking care of 5 boys. Anyway, she also mentioned in her interview that things changed soon after the filming of the show began. So she has now also told us a timeline that we didn't know or have confirmation on previously, but she is alluding to the fact that both Simon and Porsha, claiming to have only been seeing each other for 1 month, that time frame doesn't quite add up, according to the Instagram detectives themselves, who clearly see that Porsha and Simon had been on vacation for at least 2 months together. Also, if you remember, Falynn did also mention that in her interview that Simon's and Falynn's marriage counselor or their marriage therapist asked Simon specifically if he cheated, and Simon's response to the question was that Simon doesn't get caught unless Simon wants to get caught, which again for Falynn was another red flag. I mean, there's so many things you can jump around and say in the interview and what was alluded to versus what was actually stated. But Falynn did manage to keep everything classy, state what she needed to say, kind of, walk the fence around, not violating her NDA. So keeping everything positive and upbeat while still giving those little slight jabs here and there, if you were really able to read into it. And in the end of the day, that was Falynn's version of her truth. Personally, I think other people may have gone a bit harder at both, the woman that now has your husband and, responding to your husband's allegations. But I'm pretty glad that she did manage to take the high road. And I think in the end, it really just shows that she's a much stronger woman than people may give her credit for. And she's pretty classy, because that's much more of a class act than what you would have seen or may have seen with some other past behaviors of cast members. For example, Porsha kicking Cynthia in the belly. We just nibbled on a good piece of current there, and hopefully we have a bit more as the weeks continue and the new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta films. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more tidbits. I certainly still do hope this is a storyline and not real life, but if there's a pregnancy, that's the only way I will believe that this is real life and not a storyline. And by pregnancy, I mean if Porsha is pregnant and pops up pregnant as she did with the hot dog man, we're all surprised, and then bam, here comes a baby. Anyway, tune in next time. Please subscribe. Looking forward to hearing your views in the comments. Thanks.